This is your WCIA3 forecast first.
We are waking up this morning on a historic day after a significant tornado outbreak tore through parts of the Midwest and the Deep South here in Coles County. Some of the damage here includes damage from moving near Gaze through the Matthew Charleston area and points to the east here. We're bringing you live coverage through the morning from the field after a night of terror for many in central Illinois. Not only do we talk about some of the damage here locally, but we'll bring you coverage from some of the extensive damage that affected parts of Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Live in the field in Coles County, I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey. The WCIA 3 Morning Show Tornado Coverage Edition starts right now.
You're watching your local news leader. This is The Morning Show on WCIA 3 News.
Thanks for joining us this Saturday morning. I'm Jack Gerfen. It was a night of destruction for many across the Midwest and the Southeast as dozens of tornadoes touched down, including right here in central Illinois. These are our top stories that we're going to be showing you throughout the morning show. Now, these images that you're going to see right now, these were from near the Mattoon area last night. You can see damage to a brick building as well as to this mobile home that did look to be shifted slightly off of its foundation. There's also damage to the siding with that too. And a shed also nearby has severe structural damage to it. When our meteorologist Jacob Dickey was driving around in our storm tracker last night, he came upon this damage, and also at times, which may be hard to see at times, it's going to be coming up here pretty quickly, but we were able to capture some power flashes as tornadoes were moving through parts of our viewing area. We had damage that was reported in the Gaze area, also in the Mattoon area, which is where he is, and we'll check back in with him in just a moment. But again, these images were from last night when meteorologist Jacob Dickey was at the wheel of the storm tracker. And we're going to go to Jacob right now. Myself and him were tracking those storms last night, only just a few hours ago, and Jacob is live from Mattoon. Good to see you again this morning, Jacob. Tell us where you are this morning. What does the daylight reveal? And also describe what you experienced last night in the storm tracker.
Yeah, we are here now just about 2 miles north of Mattoon. The wind is so strong behind this. We're going to talk more about the wind through the day today and those falling temperatures, but I want to show you this. The video you saw from last night, that is at this location right now. This is on 1000 North, just to the west of Highway 45. And we're going to turn the camera a little bit and show you some of the different areas that are here. This is that brick home and the mobile home that were affected by that there. And so as I get this camera turned for you, you'll see back in the back there, the homeowners have showed up and are working on cleaning up. This wind, though, it's brutal. It's not helping out areas around here. Power crews are trying to restore power. There are lines down still in this area this morning, and we're seeing some of them now here. The wind's certainly not helping. This home right here lost its roof last night. We can report that the occupants of this home last night, they were home, they were watching TV. They got the warning, and they are okay. The roof, though, of their home taken off. Of course, this all so sad just 2 weeks before Christmas here in central Illinois. This is one of the spots of damage. We know there's a trail of damage that extends back all the way towards the Gaze community near Windsor, and those areas are continuing to see cleanup efforts this morning as well in central Illinois. A lot of damage to cover and a lot of areas being impacted by this, Jack. Of course, we're going to be out here in the field through the morning and talk more about the damage that we're seeing here in central Illinois. There's more damage as well to a factory complex. We mentioned that last night, the Mattoon-Charleston Enterprise Parkway. That's the road right here, just to the south of Dorrance. 2 factories heavily damaged there. A number of homes into the south and west of here, northwest Mattoon towards Gaze also have damage. And that trail goes 10 to 15 miles perhaps, Jack, as there. This not the only tornado. Other damage in Cass and Morgan counties. Other damage also parts of Shelby and Fayette counties, and even off into the east into Edgar and Vermilion County. Damage reported this morning here. It's windy out here, Jack. That is one thing that will hamper these cleanup efforts. The wind chill values continue to tumble. Just a few hours ago, before the cold front came through, it was warm. We were in the 60s before 4 a.m. Now we're well down into the 30s, Jack, as we continue to watch things here in the field. It will be a weekend of cleanup. It will be weeks of cleanup in some parts of the region here, Jack. I want to send it back to you, and we can talk more about that coming up later on in the show. Jack?
Yep, Jacob, thank you. We're going to be checking back in with you, trying to get there on the weather in the 3s as close as we can. But again, thank you for staying out there in the cold because our temperatures have fallen about 30, 35 degrees from earlier this morning. Jacob, thank you very much. So we're going to check in with him throughout the morning show. And we're also going to be, again, looking into more spots that have seen damage as well, and also check on that windy forecast, too. So like we said at the top of the newscast, there were dozens of tornado reports from last night. The St. Louis area was hit with a few rounds of tornadic storms. And what you're looking at right now is video from our sister station, KTVI in St. Louis, of damage from an Amazon fulfillment center warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois, and that is in the Metro East area. We know that at that time, multiple people were trapped in that building following a massive structural collapse of the roof. As of last check, there were no reported injuries at that location. However, west of there, in Defiance, Missouri, we know of at least 1 fatality and 2 injuries from a structure damage that occurred there. We also have reports so far of 2 dead and 5 seriously hurt in Monette, Arkansas. This report is from the Monette Manor Nursing Home, which is located in northeast Kansas. In addition to the casualties there were at least 20 people, many of them seniors, who were trapped in that building. And then to give you some scope about how strong this tornado outbreak was, western Kentucky was absolutely slammed last night. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has issued a state of emergency for western Kentucky, including the town of Mayfield, where a candle factory there collapsed while over 100 workers were still inside. The governor believes there are at least 50 fatalities from this factory alone, making this the deadliest day from tornadoes in years in the United States, and could make this the deadliest day from tornadoes in the state of Kentucky. And not only did this produce powerful storm system, or not only did this powerful storm system produce severe weather, it also brought heavy snow to Minnesota and Wisconsin too. Here's a report from Wausau, Wisconsin.
Works and their snow plows are already hitting the streets to clear the roads. The plows have been salted, fueled, and prepped for the weather.
Gas them up and get them ready to go.
Public Works officials say they're understaffed at the moment.
Right now we're down 5 guys, so that we'll be short on routes this year.
There will not be around-the-clock snow cleanup.
No, we're pretty short-staffed right now, so we don't have 24-hour coverage.
The main streets are their main priority.
We have priority routes that we do, and usually we have people on standby to keep them open, but the side streets usually take longer.
They say whatever snow they don't clear today, they'll get done tomorrow.
We'll make up for it for the next day. We kind of are not doing the sidewalks the first day initially. We're able to come back within 24 hours and clean the sidewalks up.
Public Works also has staff on standby in case police report slick or snowy conditions.
And we have people on call and dispatch calls if we have any slippery spots, accidents that we have to take care of.
The heavier the storm, the longer the cleanup.
No, generally it's like with the bigger storms, it always takes us a while longer, so I ask the public just to be patient.
In addition to all the weather news that we actually have some other news to talk about throughout the morning show, as well as more reports from the field from meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Stay with us.
The news continues here on The Morning Show, your local news leader.
Welcome back to The Morning Show. We still have meteorologist Jacob Dickey live from Mattoon, and he's currently in the storm tracker right now. Jacob, probably to get out of the wind because we're dealing with wind gusts that are going to be approaching 50 miles an hour today. How's the wind out there so far today?
Yeah, Jack, the wind, it is brutal here. I got back for the station about 2, 3 in the morning. It was still warm. The storms that came through last night, they were ahead of the cold front quite a ways, but now the cold front has come on through and temperatures continue to fall. Before we take the graphics, I'm going to show you a look here now straight out front of the storm tracker, and you can see some of the damage here. This is a look this morning. Homeowners are showing up here, and they are starting to assess the damage and clean things up and take a look at things. Coming up, we're going to head to the east and head towards Dorrance to show you some of the manufacturing plants, the warehouses south of Dorrance that were damaged, and we'll be showing more areas now. Let's go ahead and take the graphics real quick here. You'll see in Mattoon, the temperature is 37. The wind, though, right now, this is sustained wind, not wind gust, west at 35 miles an hour. That's going to bring a wind chill of 24 into the region. These winds are sustained of 20 to 35 miles an hour all across the region here. When you factor in those wind gusts, we've got a gust reported at 53 in Mattoon. I'd believe that. We're standing out there in that. 40-mile-an-hour gust in Decatur, 36 in Bloomington. Let's talk about those wind chill values. It is cold out there this morning. It will stay cold all day. The west wind, a cold wind behind that cold front, feels like the 20s. Probably not going to feel much warmer throughout the day. You can see while temperatures are continuing to slowly fall, we may rise a little bit into the afternoon. We're in the 30s all day. Those wind chill values down into the 20s. It does appear that the wind will relax a little bit as we head into tonight, but still tomorrow is looking a little cooler. Upper 40s into the region here, and that's something that we're going to continue to monitor here throughout the weekend. But the good news, Jack, is no severe weather this weekend and into early next week. Temperatures, though, are looking a bit warmer into the region. We've got some more 50s and 60s ahead. We're going to watch when you get the warm weather in December, Jack. It's something that you got to keep your eyes on, just like this past system here. We're going to start moving here in a minute and head towards Dorrance and show you some of that more damage coming up at 8:23. We're also going to take a look at some of those regional storm reports across the area. Jack? Yeah, and Jacob, like you said, we got the chance for storms in there. Do you still have the chance for storms in our forecast for next Thursday with that strong cold front coming through? I'll be honest, I haven't really looked too in-depth at it. That is in the back of our minds, but in the front of our minds is going to be cleaning up, helping the neighbors that have been affected here. Not only Coles County, we're just here in Coles County. We could probably use 3 or 4 more crews to assess damage in other areas, and so we're going to drive and keep watching. That's certainly something we'll monitor. At this point, though, we'll just keep it as something that we'll monitor for the future. That's what we'll say there. Jack? All right, Jacob, thank you so much. We'll check back in here in just a little bit. So meanwhile, dozens are homeless, and 2 are waiting for low-barrier winter emergency shelters to open in Champaign County. One of those 2 is those in a big step closer to opening. We confirmed today that 24-hour men's facility will be at New Covenant Fellowship Church in Champaign. A location for the women's shelter is still being finalized, but the See You at Home executive director says that's coming any day now. The biggest hurdle left is finding enough staff to work the shelters.
Once these 2 shelters open, do we feel like, unless someone's just refusing to use the shelter, we can't handle the entire homeless population in the area?
I think that's absolutely the hope. Obviously, part of the intake process will be determining, okay, are they appropriate to come here? Because there could be some capacity for that. Are they appropriate for hospitalization? And obviously there's some criteria built into what that would look like. But I think overall that's the plan.
Courtright says they can open the homeless shelters as soon as hiring wraps up. All staff members go through some additional training, including de-escalation and trauma-informed care. And we have a news follow-up this morning. The Sangamon County Sheriff's Office is investigating the death of a 58-year-old Leroy Stewart. Stewart's body was found at a waste management facility. The Sheriff's Office is investigating this as a tragic accident right now, but homeless shelters and advocates say deaths like these change their mindset from we can do better to we need to be better.
The Sangamon County Sheriff discovered the body of 58-year-old Leroy Stewart at a garbage dump Thursday morning. Stewart's death hit hard for homeless advocates in the city who are trying to prevent things like this from happening.
I think when events like this happen, it's a fervent reminder that we can do better and that we can do the outreach. We can make sure there's a place for people to go. We as a community really need to pull together for this.
Stewart was experiencing homelessness in Springfield. The sheriff's office believes he was sleeping in a dumpster when a garbage truck picked up the dumpster and crushed the contents, killing Stewart. The city has a list of shelters available for the homeless population, but sometimes people choose not to go to them.
Sometimes if you talk to people enough, they have to decide when their time is right for them. And when it is, you just hope that you're there.
Julie Benson runs the Helping the Homeless in Springfield ministry. She spends her days delivering food and helping homeless find services they need in the city. She says this is far from the first death she's experienced. That proves work like hers is so needed.
So we've just got to keep trying better. We've got to all work together, to help the people out here because they don't know sometimes what's available to them.
Shelters send out caseworkers constantly throughout the city, and while they may have to take no for an answer one night, They are right back out there the next day, hoping to prevent deaths like Stewart's.
I mean, the truth is we'll never really take no for an answer. Tonight it might be no. We can't force anybody to come in, but we're going to certainly keep trying. We're going to keep asking.
The sheriff's office has narrowed down a time frame for when the trucks picked up certain dumpsters. They're trying to pinpoint a time and place so they can know for sure that there was no foul play. U of I police say a student was arrested on child pornography charges. Officers say Daniel Mika admitted to trading pornographic images involving children. Police received a tip that someone uploaded the pictures to social media. Officers tracked down the IP address to the U of I. He was arrested on a warrant yesterday at Sanders Hall on West College Court. Springfield police arrested a man for robbing a bank yesterday morning. Officers were called to the Security Bank on Stevenson Drive around 10:30. Witnesses told the police a person came in, grabbed a teller by the shirt, and demanded money. They say the person took the money and ran. Authorities believe 23-year-old Javon Young is the robber. He was arrested for robbing a bank and aggravated battery. We'll be right back after this.
Continues here on The Morning Show, your local news leader.
A Muhammad family was left feeling alone when a member was unexpectedly admitted to the hospital. But in their time of need, the community came together to help. WCIA3's Bradley Swank has more.
David Bammert started getting headaches last year.
This all kind of started in July of 2020. I went to the doctor for the first time in October of 2020, and they said, oh, well, it seems like you just have some migraines.
But that wasn't the end of it. And now we fast forward to this year.
Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I went to Christie Clinic, community care out on Windsor.
Because your headache was really
Because my headache was the worst.
The pain was so bad, he used to wake up at night, and he originally thought it was a tumor. An MRI was scheduled the following Thursday, and the pain just kept getting worse.
So I ended up going to Carl emergency room, and they looked at my CT scan from Christie and said, no, this is not a tumor. This is definitely a brain aneurysm.
They went to one of the best hospitals, but that comes with a cost. So his sister-in-law set up a GoFundMe page to help with the expenses, and the amount of donations they received surprised him.
You don't really know how many people you have on your side, in your corner until things take a turn like this.
Friends, family, and the entire community came together.
It makes us feel good that we have 3 kids. We have 3 boys. It makes us feel good that we're going to be in a community with them growing up that is so strong in the community.
People stepped up to help take care of other needs like mowing the lawn. And with holidays coming, people came together to help give their kids a Christmas to remember. Reporting in Muhammad, I'm Bradley Swank, WCIA3, your local news leader.
He had surgery on Tuesday and he's still recovering, but doctors say he should be all right. A costume and novelty shop in Champaign is auctioning off its inventory after they closed a while back, and now they're getting rid of the space. Cool? Andy Dallas is the owner of Dallas & Company. He's retiring, so now he's finding a new home for all of these things inside his store. He is auctioning off all the items from things as normal as makeup to human skeleton remains in a real coffin. Some of the items he has there cost thousands of dollars. He says it's time for him to move on after 49 years.
I begin to look at this and say, all these wonderful things that I've collected are now, just things, and I need to go on with my life as a retiree.
Clubs, yeah. Okay.
He is planning on keeping the magic shop, but will be moving it to a different location. The auction will be online, and you can place your bids now. It is planned to happen on January 16th and 17th. We have a link on our website, WCI.com, for you to check out for what's for sale. We're going to go now to Jacob.
I'm live here outside of Doran's, just to the north of Mattoon on Highway 45. Behind me is the Alton Warehouse. Alton Warehouse and Services, what this facility is called. We were here last night bringing you coverage during and immediately after the storm. We're going to show you the facility now here and let you take a look at it as I move the camera around to give you an idea of just some of the damage. You'll notice the hole in the wall. As I pan to the left a little bit, we do see that there's a lot of sheet metal off in the distance here, and we'll focus that in for you. The actual back side of the building has been torn apart here. I can't get a good vantage point of it. Some of that damage here has been blown all through this field. You can see a lot of insulation here as we pan to the north. quite a bit of damage, and as well, there's a facility that's off to the north here and east, just beyond those trees. They actually lost the back half of their building. I've got exclusive video for you on that on my Facebook page. You can go there, and this is along Highway 45 looking to the north now as we see some of this damage here this morning. Quite a significant strike in this part of Coles County. This storm, of course, came from all the way in the Gaze area before it moved off to the east here and to the north and east. So we're bringing you coverage here this morning, talking more about the damage. We're going to show you some more of the damage here in Coles County, but there's a lot of other areas that have been affected as well, and so that's something that's a bit of a concern here this morning. We've reached out to authorities in parts of Cass and Morgan County. A significant tornado touched down near Virginia, carried all the way to the north and west of Petersburg. Also know of some damage to homes in the Herrick area. I got a message from a viewer down there. Other damage then towards Cowden and off towards the north and east of Strasburg, where this tornado touched down. That happened very near the Gaze community to the south and west. It hit the Heritage FS facility there, swept through just to the north and west of the Gaze downtown area. Most of Gaze itself is okay. We'll head that way later on in the show and bring you some coverage as well on our digital platforms. Came to the north and east here, just to the north of the Whirl King distribution facility in Mattoon, caused quite a bit of damage here, then across the highway here near Dorrance, and lifted somewhere to the east of Interstate 57. The National Weather Service will have their hands full through the day today, surveying and likely into tomorrow. Of course, this is not the only area that was affected. Central Illinois, perhaps one of the luckier areas. Quite a bit of damage as well down by St. Louis, down into parts of Kentucky, where the death toll is likely in the dozens from what the governor of Kentucky has said. Other damage and fatalities reported as well in northeast Arkansas. This will be a story you'll see for days to come here. We're going to continue to bring you coverage locally on the morning show. We'll be right back after this.
Now, the morning show from your local news leader.
The pandemic cut the money visitors are spending in Illinois in half. The state recently released a county-by-county look at last year's damage. Our capital city, for example, a portion of that local tax revenue goes directly into the general fund, something that covers the costs of city government, helps pay for fire and police services, keeps up with the roads, and so much more. We took a look at the numbers in the counties that the House and our largest central Illinois metros looked at, and things have rebounded some in 2021, but not without countless hours of work by local volunteers as well as visitor centers.
Showing in some places record-setting loss for cities and counties that rely on visitors.
Tourism and hospitality was the #1 industry impacted.
As the director of the Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau, Scott Dahl plays a big role in bringing people to Sangamon County. Best known to outsiders as the home of Abraham Lincoln. Countywide money spent on hotels, restaurants, transportation, shopping, and recreation dropped about 37% in 2020 compared to 2019. That's a loss of almost $190 million. Much of that comes from Springfield.
Renee, we're talking about a city that typically sees 800,000 room nights rented annually.
On top of it all, more than 800 people who keep that industry going lost their jobs last year.
People think sometimes that tourism is vacation, and it's not. It's anyone who comes into your community and spends money.
In Vermilion County, 3 tourism industry jobs were lost in 2020. Visitors Bureau Director Jeannie Cook says that's thanks to local businesses adapting. But the county still lost more than $13 million in tourism revenue. Cook says prior to 2020, there was growth every year. She says it's the worst year since she started at the Bureau in 1993.
So when people quit traveling, people quit going to, coming from across the line in Indiana to go to grocery stores, all that is tourism money.
Downtown, nearly an entire block of buildings lies dormant, empty.
What you don't see is the number of these buildings that are being purchased and renovated.
And overall, things are looking up. Sangamon County is rebounding as well.
Many of those cancellations that we saw, we're able to rebook into future years. It took a tremendous amount of efforts and certainly hundreds of hours.
Dahl says although the numbers aren't official yet, 2021 is shaping up to be about 10% behind 2019.
Dahl's optimistic for the 2020 travel season, but the revenue may lag for a couple years. The state doesn't expect international travel to fully rebound until 2023 or 2024. We reported the numbers from Champaign released by the county last week. That and the loss in Macon County is on our website. We'll be right back after this.
The news continues here on The Morning Show, your local news leader.
Again, thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday morning. This is a recap of some of the storm-related damage that we have seen from last night and also so far this morning. These images were from last night near the Mattoon area. You can see damage to a brick building as well as the mobile home that you can see there with the white siding. That did look to be shifted slightly off of its foundation. And a shed also nearby has severe structural damage to it. And our meteorologist Jacob Dickey was there this morning and has reported that no casualties have come from that location and that the owners of the property are beginning to start their cleanup process there. As we then go to the next video, there's some power flashes that will be kind of there on the left side of your screen there just briefly. We captured those on the Storm Tracker's camera as meteorologist Jacob Dickey was driving around in the area, and that's, again, that property as he was coming up to it. And then we've also seen damage in the Gaze area, too. And we've seen more reports here with meteorologist Jacob Dickey. We're going to go to him in just a moment. But like we said at the top of the newscast, there were dozens of tornado reports from last night. The St. Louis area was hit very hard with a few rounds of tornadic storms. And what you're looking at right now is video from last night from our sister station, KTVI in St. Louis, of damage to an Amazon Fulfillment Center warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois, and that's in the Metro East area. We know that multiple people were trapped in that building following a massive structural collapse of the roof at that time. And as of last check, there were no reported injuries. However, west of there in Defiance, Missouri, which is a northwest suburb of St. Louis, we know of at least one fatality and 2 injuries from a structure damage there. We also have reports so far of 2 dead and 5 seriously hurt in Monette, Arkansas. This report is from the Monette Manor Nursing Home, which is located in northeast Arkansas. In addition to the casualties, there were at least 20 people, many of them seniors, who were trapped in the building. And to give you some scope as to how strong this tornado outbreak was, western Kentucky was absolutely slammed last night. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has issued a state of emergency for western Kentucky, including the town of Mayfield, where a candle factory there collapsed while over 100 workers were still inside. The governor believes that there are at least 50 fatalities from this factory alone, making this the deadliest day from tornadoes in years in the United States, and could make this the deadliest day from tornadoes in the state of Kentucky. Back here in our viewing area, though, we've got meteorologist Jacob Dickey with us, and we have definitely seen our fair share of severe weather at times in December, Jacob. It is not exactly all that common, but it's not very rare either. Tell us about that.
You're right about that. You're right about that. December severe weather is very anomalous. It's not expected, but when it happens, often the threshold can be a lot greater, and that's been the case for us here in central Illinois. We're thinking this was a significant tornado strike for parts of Shelby, Coles County. Other significant tornado strike also in Cass, Morgan County, and perhaps down in Fayette and Shelby County, down towards Cowden-Herrick area. I want to show you right now, Jack, real quick. Take a look at this. This is a factory. I'm looking at the back side here, zoomed in the field. Part of this factory, this is a warehouse to the north and east of Alton. It's another warehouse. They've been, I can't remember the name, they've been bought out. It's just to the northeast of the Alton Warehouse Services one. And you can see those metal beams have collapsed there. And some of that insulation now blowing around in the wind. Very much a very long cleanup ahead for a lot of these people that are here into the area. Let's take a look at the graphics now and show you regionally what we've seen here. First, we'll start locally with our local storm reports over the last 24 hours or so. A lot of reports of wind, a lot of reports of wind damage all across the area. We've got wind gusts that have been measured at some of our observation sites at the airports from between 60 and 65 miles an hour. As we look across the region now, this outbreak of severe weather was by and large centered on the Mississippi River Valley here. Quite a bit to the north and east of us, but quite a bit to the south. I'm going to remove the wind and hail reports here, and you're going to see some of the tornado reports. There will be more to come. Well, we've had a number of them from St. Louis up Interstate 70 and into the Coles County area here, as well as over in Cass and Morgan County. The exact number uncertain. The National Weather Service will be surveying, but look at all those tornado reports across northeast Arkansas, northwest Tennessee, southeast Missouri, and into Kentucky. The National Weather Service down there, Jack, is going to investigate whether that was one large, long tornado that tracked through that area. If it did, it could be one for the records. there's some discussion that I've seen where if that tornado was in fact down, as radar indicated, and when the surveys come out, we'll know for sure, that may be longer than the tri-state tornado back in 1925. They're calling this the quad-state tornado because of significant damage and fatalities ranging from Arkansas, Missouri into Tennessee and into Kentucky. Jack, that storm down there was very tragic, and there's some indications that those numbers may go higher into part of the area there. So we'll keep you updated throughout the day. Thankfully, here locally, we have not heard of any injuries or any fatalities in central Illinois, our viewing area, even with some of this damage that we're seeing out there. Jack?
Yeah, that potentially long-track tornado that was down to the south of us, that was in the Storm Prediction Center's moderate risk area, and so this was definitely a very good forecast by the Storm Prediction Center. I would say that they nailed this forecast very well, so that definitely helped us deliver our message better when we were out doing our storm tracking last night, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that came together to make this forecast happen. The Storm Prediction Center, the National Weather Service offices, the meteorologists across the board here. And whether you were getting your alerts from us or wherever you were getting them last night, I think it's very much good to hear here locally, but certainly 2 weeks before Christmas, there's a lot of tragedy and a lot of hurt in other parts, and there is here locally too, but we at least can say we've escaped through with no serious injuries, no fatalities. Jack.
All right, Jacob, we're going to see you right after this commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We're live in the Storm Tracker this morning, bringing you coverage from the field in Coles County after a significant tornado tore through areas west and north of Mattoon. We're on our way to Gaze right now to see if we can't get you a report before the top of the hour. We'll also bring you some digital coverage here in a bit. Let's go ahead and take the graphics full and talk about what we're seeing out there right now. Much colder today. The wind very strong out there. We've got winds sustained of 25 to 35 miles an hour. There is some cloud cover in place. The rain, though, does appear to be done. One thing to mention, the severe weather outbreak continues this morning. There's been tornado warnings in the last hour in parts of Tennessee, down towards Alabama, Mississippi, as well as that storm system exits. We may get the chance for a few flurries today. No impactful weather, though, expected for us. Albeit the cold, certainly something that we're watching. There's a look at your temperatures out there. While it's in the 30s, continuing to fall. We were in the 60s at midnight. Those winds out of the west bringing in much colder air into the day here, and temperatures will hold steady. The wind chill values are going to be down into the 20s throughout the day today. We should get a little sunshine breaking in into the afternoon. That high you're seeing about where we'll see for the day today. And as we look ahead here, the wind does look to relax a little bit as we head into tonight and into tomorrow here into the region. Live in the Storm Tracker, we're heading towards Gaze now. We're going to bring you more updates as we continue to survey the damage. I'm looking to have another update for you coming up at 8:53. We'll be back with you in a little bit.
This is The Morning Show.
We're going to have Marley Weirdo with this morning's sports shorts. Play right now.
It looks like Illinois has a new starting quarterback. Some big news for the program coming late last night as transfer quarterback Tommy Devito commits to Illinois. Devito was the starter at Syracuse for 2 seasons before a season-ending injury in 2020, but he had plenty of success in 2019 with more than 2,000 yards and completing 63% of his passes. This is certainly good news for the Illinois football program as they try to fill a position of need with the program graduating Brandon Peters and Art Sidkowski likely the backup quarterback. As for some more Illinois football news, linebacker Kalon Tolson declared for the NFL draft yesterday. Tolson has made more than 100 tackles in his Illini career with 48 tackles just this season. He still has college eligibility remaining. The deadline for him to withdraw from the NFL draft would be January 18th. That's a look at your morning sports. I'm Marley Weirda. We'll send it back to you.
Marley, we're going to be right back after this. Also in Gibson City this past weekend, we had the parade there. You'll also be able to get the chance to enjoy a new ice rink. The Prairie Land CEO program helps students become business leaders. They have to come up with 3 businesses a year, and this is their most recent project. They had to use their money from their first project that they put together, and students say they're excited to learn something new.
I think the scariest part for our class was learning how to put a down payment down, and we're kind of like in our own loan. So it was interesting to learn financial aspects that as teenagers we haven't really faced before.
The rink is made of a slippery plastic, so you're able to skate with it year-round, and it will be open tomorrow night. A group of students at the U of I are shooting for the stars. Take a look. That's pretty cool there. The Illinois Space Society recently launched a test rocket designed and engineered by the U of I students at the Midwest Power event in Princeton, Illinois. This is a culmination of several years of work. Officials said the test flight surpassed the team's target altitude and reached over 9,300 feet with crystal blue skies as a backdrop. According to the U.S. News and World Reports, Illinois is currently ranked number 5 among U.S. colleges in aerospace engineering. And we're still going to continue our coverage from last night's storms. We are still joined with meteorologist Jacob Dickey in our storm tracker this morning. And Jacob, at last check, you said that you're heading towards the Gaze area. You're getting pretty close to there right now?
Yes, we are. We're just a little ways out here, probably at 3 or 4 miles. We're coming across another damage scene I want to show you real quick here. This is a home. We actually stopped here last night, and it looks like there's a grain bin wrapped around the tree, part of the roof removed off of this home. This is perhaps some of the more significant damage that I've seen, especially to the trees in the front yard here. Perhaps the house was a near, close to a direct hit, but perhaps just missed. This house also on the right, seeing quite a bit of damage here. So we're going to continue to watch. Let's take the graphics real quick. These are areas that we're going to have to investigate for tornadoes out there. We're going to have to watch in Ramsey, Fayette County, to see if there's damage down there that comes through. Radar indicated it last night. Cowden and Herrick and Shelby County, and then from Virginia to Petersburg and Cass Menard County. Those are areas that were early on then. Of course, where we are in Gaze to Mattoon, this is another area of tornado damage. There were some reports of some structural damage near Oakland. We've gotten some reports from there. The town itself was missed. But some reports there, the National Weather Service will look at that. And then, of course, Jack, last night, you and Kevin were talking about perhaps in Edgar and Vermilion counties, maybe near Chrisman, Ridge Farm, in that area as well. So hopefully by the end of the show, Jack, we'll make it into Gaze here. I'm about 2 miles out from it, but I wanted to stop and show you that scene. And then we're going to talk to some homeowners here in the area throughout the morning, have more updates tonight. Certainly was an active night. The focus now turns to the recovery efforts here in central Illinois. Jack?
And one of the things that we noted with last night's storms was just how fast those storms were moving. They were upwards of 70 miles an hour for a lot of those warnings. So really, many of those locations, if we gave them a heads up, it was not very much time of a heads up, correct?
You're right about that. These storms were very fast. In fact, when the Gaze tornado touched down near Windsor, we saw the first power flashes and brought you that instantaneously on air. As that storm passed on by then, it became very evident very quickly, and maybe we can pull the power flash video here. You couldn't see the tornado itself. It was wrapped up in rain and hidden in the darkness, but the power flashes from the lines being blown down helped us prove that it was there. We came across the damage near the FS facility west of there and then saw that. And you can see some of these power flashes now. This was from live video last night. It does appear that the town itself of Gaze was very close to being directly hit. Just missed it to the west and north, but certainly quite a bit of damage here. Jack, I want to say real quick, if this tornado had been a mile south, Gaze would have been directly hit. You would have had northwest Mattoon directly hit as well. While it's bad, certainly the situation could have been a whole lot worse as well.
Absolutely correct, Jacob. And we're glad that the tornado went the track that it did to avoid even more destruction. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll show the 7-day right after this.
Here's a quick check at your 7-day forecast. We're seeing clear conditions for the next couple of days. The temperatures do warm up, though. Thursday will be a day to watch. Plenty of time to watch between now and then, though. Certainly the most significant damage continues to be assessed here as we're moving through Gaze. Jack?
And Jacob, we've had a very long night last night and so far this morning. As you drive around, any spots that you noticed that lost power last night, do they have it back on? Have you been able to kind of tell in the daylight hours?
One thing I do want to mention, Route 121 is going to be closed as we go north and west of Mattoon. Also, the highway to the west of Gaze is also shut down now. We're moving up to that FS.
All right, sounds like we're losing his TVU signal there as we wrap up the morning show. We appreciate everyone for tuning in, and we're going to have much more from the storms last night on our newscast later on this evening.